It's weird.
Right. Now,
yeah,
I love this little piece here. It's something that I was mentioning to you, that people don't realize that in Trump's administration right now, there's a direct connection to September 11th.
Oh, really?
There's a direct connection right now in the Trump administration of a man who knows the truth of what flew into the Pentagon. And I'll say this because he was an Air Force pilot. He was one of the 2 pilots over Washington, D.C., under the command of Major General Worley, which I knew Major General Worley in Washington, D.C. in 2008 before he died. Okay. He was under the command of Major General Worley. He was giving down shoot down orders directly in Washington, D.C. The orders to not shoot down came directly from the Pentagon. Do you know who in the Pentagon gave them the orders not to shoot whatever that was in the sky down?
Well, I see the chat seems to know. Why don't you confirm for them?
Dick Cheney's the one that told now Major General Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, not to shoot down whatever that was. Now, Dick Cheney is the vice president, has 0 military authority or command power, but he stopped this man from shooting down whatever that was in the sky. Yeah, now, that man, Dan Kane, is now the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. His testimony is still classified for the 9/11 Commission.
I think
he knows what happened.
I think there's going to be a 9/11 reckoning, bro.
Yeah.
There's also people. It's funny, you know. I was obviously digging into a lot of early. I'm like finding myself on like 2004 blog spots, you know, where it's like all the way across the screen, right? And I was just in the middle of the weeds all over the place for years, right? In and out. And some people that they were like one of the early people, they were like talked about in the same breath as Silverstein was Howard Lutnick, another person in the administration, but because he wasn't there that day. But man, when you look into his story, like I look at him as a victim of 9/11. I've already told it on a couple podcasts. I think you could add him to the list of people who want vengeance. He lost his brother. He lost his best friend. He rushed down there after it happened and got caught in the collapse, was there with the blackened smoke. He ran into a freaking, I think he ran into like a van or something and then like had to hide under it. I think there are a lot of people right now who want to see whoever the F did this to go down big time. And that's another one. So Raising Cain, Lutnick, Trump himself. Then there's other people, right, who joined and went into this because of the attacks, who probably, I think, who were probably affected by it. So it's, I hope it's going to come out, man. And it's funny because you were saying like how things seem to be posturing around it, right? Tulsi Gabbard keeps mentioning like, well, you know, this office was created in the failures of 9/11. Then, okay, and here's a weird thing. So I was putting together the Clapper part, right? The Clapper WMD's part. And I have his book, right? I got it all ready. She gives an interview and she effing mentions it. And Abby and I are like, are they watching us? What the fuck? Like, you know, and it was weird, right? Like kind of cool weird, but I think they've been dying to tell this story. And listen, they watch Badlands, or they're very much aware of it. I don't think they sit around like, yeah, let's put on Badlands. But like, they probably have people assigned, like, you go watch this group, you watch this group. Yeah. Right. So I'm sure there's someone assigned to, like, obviously keep tabs on us, probably in a good way. And they've said things over, right? We all geek out behind the scenes. We're like, oh, man, you were just talking about that last night, and so-and-so just mentioned it. So we know it happens. Maybe they've been waiting. Maybe they've been like, hey, let's at least see what this dude's got before we start really going nuts with any of this stuff and see what comes out. Because right as we, especially the last couple weeks, as we were getting ready, all of a sudden, all over the internet, I'm seeing random people posting 9/11 stuff. Halsey's talking about this stuff. She talked about that Clapper thing freaking 2 weeks before we released it. And I was just like, yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, we could wish, but we'll see.
Well, so my prediction, and I love this because if you go to Q14, Brad, Q post 14.
It's the best. That's my favorite post.
It is. There's a part in there that says, what must be completed to engage military intelligence over 3-letter agencies? What must occur to allow for civilian trials? So how do you get military intelligence over all other 3-letter agencies? Right? Well, what must occur? Well, the last 8 years is what must occur. an information
Yeah,
gathering session, right? So
Yeah.
how do we get military intelligence over all three-letter agencies? We already do. DNI Tulsi Gabbard is Lieutenant Colonel Tulsi Gabbard of the United States Army. Now, who's sending all the criminal referrals for FISA-gate and now the 2020 election that we just found out today to the DOJ? DNI Tulsi Gabbard. They're finding it all in what? Burn bags? If anybody believes this burn bag shit, they're ludicrous. Okay,
We literally that question got posed to me tonight on the show with Barry Cunningham that I was telling Brad about, and just so everybody knows, him and his audience were familiar with the movie Codex 9/11. Like I literally, that question got brought up to me because of a post I put out. So just people need to understand, people are watching this movie. But he was just like, hey, what's your take on these burn bags?